You're listening to
The Web Bros Podcast.
Webby.
Sticky.
the Web Bros Podcast. This is season 2 of the Web Bros Podcast. I'm your host, James Perez, joined by my co-host,
Bobby Diaz.
Bobby. How are you doing today, dude?
Oh man, I'm doing pretty good, James. I'm excited to be back for Web Bros Season 2. How are you doing today?
I'm feeling amazing. It's great to be here with our brand new video format for this podcast.
We have
because
faces now.
I know, and I'd say we're gonna have a pretty expressive episode in store for all of you guys today. But this summer, while most students were kicking it back at home, tanning on a beach, a select few journalists from the University of Nevada, Reno, headed to Paris to cover one of the biggest sporting events in the world, the French Open. Joining us in today's episode are two journalists from that trip. We have Elijah Reyes, a student journalist from the University of Nevada, Reno, and Dila Canyurt, a 19-year-old international student journalist also at the University of Nevada, Reno. Elijah and Dila, welcome to the Web Bros Podcast. How are both of you guys doing today?
Thank you.
Pretty good.
I'm fine. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm doing great, Dila. Thank you both for being here today. I know everyone's kind of in their own state of mind in different parts of the world, maybe different parts in their head mentally right now, but it's a great time to be here. So let's start right from the top. So Dila, I'm going to start with you for this first question. What originally brought you two to Paris, and how did this whole idea to report on the French Open come about?
So I was really thinking to travel in Europe since I'm young. I don't know. And then when the school gave us this opportunity, I'm like, you know what? This is really good for my career and my education as well as my hobbies too, because I love traveling. So why not put them together and go to this trip? That was my first thought.
Did you care about the sports related aspect about the French Open at all, or not really?
The thing is, I cared more about the cultural side of it because it was like cultural and sports events. I mean, of course, being in the French Open was a great chance. Not that everybody can get that chance, but yeah, I was like, oh, history, buildings, cultural events, not that kind of a person, not like
So
the
basically,
sports.
everything else besides the main aspect of you
Yes,
being here was kind of that
but
allure for you.
we did an interview with a tennis player together, so I think that's a success.
And
There
not
we
many
go.
people can say that they did that.
Yeah.
Elijah, for you though, what brought you to Paris? And was it about the French Open, or was it really just about the city?
It was more about the city. I have no clue anything about tennis unless it's about Mario Tennis.
It's pretty boring.
But it was more about people and people watching that I really like doing, which is what I ended up doing for the most part. But
You watch people most of the time?
yeah, I watch people, James.
Do you think that French people are more interesting than American people?
No, but I just think they're just visually they just look beautiful. There's so many beautiful people there. Like compared to here in America, like no offense to Americans, but like them Europeans are like really pretty.
Actually, here, follow up to that for you, Elijah. Would you say being in Paris makes people more attractive than they are in America, right? You went on this trip with a bunch of other people from America that you go to school with. But like, would you say like there's just like a natural glow up that you get by being in Paris, like even like you included?
I don't think so because I feel like Americans look a certain way. I mean,
Well, no, no. Well,
oh, what do you mean?
okay. I mean like outfit wise, you get like a glow
Outfit
up,
way?
you know? Yeah.
No.
Really?
Yeah, I
I
wouldn't
don't
say
know.
so
Me
either.
personally, I don't know. I feel like it depends on the person, and how they dress, Like, do you just fit in?
I
You know
don't
what I
know,
mean?
Dila. Do you have any thoughts on that? Do you feel like anyone's style drastically improved on this trip?
No, but like as a person who lived in kind of European country for 17 years, we really care about what we put like as clothes wise, how we dress. So when I came to America, you guys were coming to school with PJs. I was like, what the hell is going on? And then when I Went to France. I was like, yes, feels like home. Definitely. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
that's
Yeah.
that's a great point that you bring up there, Dila. So right now, on the screen, I'm gonna throw up an image of what Elijah was actually wearing on the trip. So you're gonna see that right now, and we're gonna contrast that with what Elijah typically is wearing, which is what Dila was referring to, which is basically just PJs, or really just like maybe you get a shirt every once in a while.
What
But
photos?
I'll just have these contrasting images for you guys up here for right now.
What
But
are the photos?
Bobby, if you want to go take the lead on the next question.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't know we were doing that segment. Okay, so Elijah, Dila, most people go to Paris because they're lucky to be tourists. You know what I mean? Like, everyone dreams to go to the city of love and all this other stuff. But you guys had the lucky opportunity to be there with press credentials. So like, what was that like for you, covering such a global event?
So technically, we didn't have the press credentials.
Okay, well,
We were
hypothetically.
Wait, so who had press
Hypothetically.
credentials? I thought some people did.
Yeah,
Just
some
three
people did.
people. Yeah.
Okay.
Nick,
Well,
he was a photographer. Zoe and Emma, not us.
wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
but okay, theoretical.
Hypothetically.
In the imaginary
Hypothetically?
sense.
I mean, yeah, being the press is really cool, It comes with a lot of opportunities, and you feel like, oh, hell yeah, I'm a journalist. Like, I don't know. Hypothetically.
I mean, hypothetically, it would really nice to be really close, because
Yeah.
a lot closer you are to be able to taking those photos, and you have more of an opportunity to bring in like bigger lenses, so your photos, you can be a lot more closer, which would have been really nice to have that opportunity. But like hypothetically, if I was in that position, those photos would have looked really cool.
Okay, so you guys kind of touched on it a little bit, but let's kind of talk about the actual work that both of you guys ended up doing there. So, Dila, what stories did you end up reporting on while you were there, and what was your approach to covering them as a student journalist in this international setting?
So, I can start from the international setting. There was this like Turkish tennis player, right? And there's a girl in UNR tennis woman team who is my friend, who is also Turkish.
What's
who
her
is
name?
Friend Doğa. Doğa Kürek. I don't know. You can, yeah.
Okay,
Never mind.
you're okay.
Never mind.
Sounds like a spell.
She was friend with that Turkish tennis player, and like we were in contact throughout the year. And I went there and I spoke with her, and like she's just a Turkish girl, I'm just a Turkish girl, and like, that kind of a bond. It was great. Also, like I didn't have like I didn't have like many stories, but I vlogged. You guys should go and watch it.
I think I did see some of those, yeah.
Yeah.
On the YouTube.
And on the YouTube. Yeah, there you go. And
Link it in the thing.
Yeah. The vlogs, I don't know. I loved it because it's a memory for me, and like it's also content. I just enjoyed to be the student in Paris, not like journalism student, but just to be a student in Paris. And how did it feel, Getting pickpocketed, being stupid.
I wanted to switch back to Elijah. So what was your experience like? And then I have another question for both of you after that.
What? Oh, how was my experience like doing stories there?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, most of it I did was photo stories. So I did one on the beer festival. Another one I was doing was just a bunch of pigeons, because I was taking a picture of pigeons, and I thought it was interesting that like
The real face of France.
Yeah, because well, I'm inspired because there's this French photo series book of cats in Paris. So I thought it'd be interesting if I did one on pigeons in Paris.
Can I interrupt you for a second? So after losing his phone, right? And then he's with a camera. And then like we lost him a couple of times on the streets because he was taking a picture of the pigeons. So I'm like, there are pigeons everywhere. Can you just walk with us? Like, you're gonna be dead, and we won't know that.
Every pigeon's left and right. A pigeon did take my croissant because I was like hoarding. all the pigeons in front of me because I put my croissant there, so all the pigeons came at me. Someone on the trip was also not very happy because I did that. But about me and my phone being stolen, my other story idea is something called what's it called? Anecdotes from an idiot. Oh, wait, yeah, anecdotes from an idiot. What's it called? A tourist. Anecdotes from whatever it's called. I forgot what they called it. But it's just anecdotes from me and my terrible experiences because I got scammed, my phone got stolen. Yeah, and it caused a commotion because of the pigeons. So
That's
yeah,
pretty fun.
yeah, it is really funny having your phone stolen.
Yeah.
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 Okay, but did you guys ever feel this sort of like responsibility or weight of pressure for like covering this global event and being the only people from your school to be able to report on this and bring it back home with you?
I mean, yeah, because there are expectations from you. Like you're not doing this, for free,
Right.
And like for like the couple of days, like I think the first days, I was really stressed because we went to the French Open for the qualifier rounds, like the first 3 days, right? And then I was like, what am I gonna do? I don't even know the sport. Like, I have no idea what's going on. I'm just watching the ball coming up from the side to side.
Right.
Yeah, that killed me. So that's why I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do cultural events. Not gonna touch tennis. But yeah.
Elijah.
I mean, I was gonna say I didn't feel stressed at all, but Loki, one of my articles is timely. Loki, it's not even turned in because I'm still waiting on my photos. Because
Is
on
it
my
CPU
hard drive,
festival?
yeah. I mean, I just got them because I just asked Alex for the photos, but look, it's already too late because it's a timely assignment. The other two are not timely, and I don't have those photos anymore. So
So you guys were both working on deadlines for these stories or no?
it depends on how timely the story is. It does all due this Friday, but what?
Wow.
In 3 days.
Yeah. So for
Yeah.
context here, guys, basically it's Wednesday right now for us, Wednesday, June 18th. So they basically have like
2 days?
3 days. Well, basically like 3 days.
It's Tuesday.
Elijah,
Oh
it's
well.
Wednesday.
Oh yeah. No, it's not.
We have 10 minutes to Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Sorry for Elijah's forgetfulness, which we will tap into in a moment. But obviously, Elijah, we alluded to it earlier. We cannot ignore one of the wildest twists that happened on this trip for both you, everyone involved there, and for the rest of the web bros back here in the States. Elijah, you got your phone stolen in Paris, but which is unfortunately, I guess, something that's like somewhat common there, I guess. But
It is very
can
common.
you like just talk about what happened, how it affected your ability to do your work in a city that you didn't know, and how that affected your relationships back home?
It affected my relationship with Paris. I'm just joking, but like I just put my never put your phone in your goddamn pocket because that's what I did. Literally, I'm so thankful I had everything else in my side bag except my phone. But I got my phone pocketed, and then I was like, because we got off, and I was like, guys, I don't have my phone, and I'm like the boy who cried wolf, I guess, because everyone thought I was just joking and lying, and I was like, guys, I actually don't have my phone. It's gone. And I felt honestly terrible because I felt really bad because everyone was more stressed about it than I am, and I felt really bad about that. Jeez, like it was. I felt more bad about the fact that I made everyone like look for it and care about me losing my phone than me actually losing the phone because the phone is a replaceable item. But I can't replace the fact that I made everyone worry, which is honestly my biggest like regret on that trip. But I went 6 days without a phone. Dila was my main way to communicate with other people while we were out and about. And honestly, as someone who gets distracted very easily, it is not good that I don't have a way to communicate with other people because they usually lose me because I get just really distracted. I'm like, whoa, I'm gonna take a picture of that, but I just don't tell anyone.
Yeah, yeah. Here, Dila, let's go back to you on this one. Like Elijah was saying, you basically became his emergency contact after that point. Me and Bobby back here were basically kind of reaching out to you for answers about this guy's whereabouts because we had no idea what was going on. Yeah, so you became his emergency contact, his GPS, his translator as well, basically all in one. So what was that like for you, having to juggle your own reporting, your own responsibilities, while also helping a friend navigate without a phone in a foreign country? How was that for you?
Like, yeah, because I was in a foreign country too. Like, it's not like that I go to France every single day. And so I would have get like DMs and I would have thought that it was my mom or it was my boyfriend, but when I look, it's for Elijah. So I'm like, here's your mom. Like, take the phone, please just text her. And like,
Oh my god.
okay. Like, yeah, literally. And then like I was in communication with you, James, because he didn't care. And that's what pisses me off,
He didn't care.
No, because okay, so here's what happened. We got off the metro, right? And he was like, I don't have my phone. I'm like, if you're joking, literally, I'll be so mad and I wouldn't talk to you. So be serious about it. Like literally, I was this close to like blow up. And then he was like, no,
Stabbing on
I
him.
don't have my phone. And I was like, okay. And then we were just like looking on the floors, this and that. And we went to this like information desk, and the lady was like, nobody puts their phone in their pockets. It's pets. And I was like, yes, literally. And like, you're in this foreign country. You don't memorize your mom's phone number, your dad's, your siblings, like your friends. Why? Why? At least have one phone number with you. He didn't have that. We literally like wrote our phone numbers to a paper.
Yeah, like
into
your mom's
his
number?
costs. Oh my god, yeah, he pissed me off because he didn't care. He was reckless about it. But other than that, that's fine.
Yeah.
What? You were reckless about it.
Yeah, that was my bad. That was
Yes.
that was my bad.
And,
That was
the
my
fact that he doesn't. Okay, here's what happened. One day, he was with I think Nick and Alex, and I was with the girls, and they had a different program that they had to go, and he was like, "Okay, I have to come with you guys, right?" Okay, we were like, "Yes." He doesn't have a phone. He doesn't know French. He doesn't have something like a GPS or whatever.
Is
So
this for
he
the Notre
literally
Dame?
walked alone. Like there was a like 50% chance that he could have get lost or to be dead. And we were like, why are you
No.
walking alone? Just wait for Nick to drop you, right? Like because that's what a logical person does.
Was this the Notre Dame?
Yeah. And like we were going to Notre Dame and we were just waiting and waiting and they didn't come. We were in the line, we got off the line, we get in the line again because we were waiting for this guy.
I made it.
Wow.
I made it to the Notre Dame.
Before you.
I made it. It was a straight walk. I didn't know there was more than one bridge.
There were 15 bridges literally next to each other.
Because I was like, Nick,
I don't
where am I
know.
going, by the way?
No.
He's like, oh, just go to the
Okay,
bridge.
so
I'm
they,
like,
like,
this
this is a
bridge?
big
He's like, yeah,
street,
just go to
right?
that bridge. I'm like, okay. I'll just walk straight and go to that bridge.
So there's a lake, there's a big street, and there are like 15 bridges to connect to two of the streets. And
Seems
this
excessive.
guy takes one of them. Like, which end are we
I
at?
didn't
He doesn't
know.
even know that.
I don't know.
Nick
I
told me
feel
there was
like
only one
Elijah,
bridge.
Elijah. I'm gonna be honest, dude. I feel like this entire situation with you brings up like this even bigger point about working abroad, not just as like a journalist, but literally anyone traveling abroad. It is not always this glamorous thing that it can be made out to be, right? Especially if you're working with a group of people all around like the same age as you. It takes like a lot of teamwork and a lot of patience, as I'm sure Dila knows. So how was it? I mean, just like reporting and being out in these unfamiliar environments, and what do you think other student journalists or just other, students traveling should be prepared for when they are in these foreign countries?
Okay, so Professor Altonai gave us 4 rules. Don't lose your phone. Don't lose your passport. Don't get arrested. Don't be sick. And like he already lost. Like, it's just like 4
He
rules
broke
that
a
you have
rule.
to know if you're traveling abroad. And please know at least one phone number of your family members. Just that. Other than that, you'll be fine.
Elijah, how do you not know your
That's
mom's
it.
phone number?
Yes.
That's insane.
I never thought there would be a situation where I would need
They
to.
teach you this at 5. They teach you this at like at least
Yeah.
5 years old in like kindergarten. You need to know your emergency contact
Yeah, because to know
information.
your mom's number and your address, dude. Do you even know
Come
your
on, man.
address?
I know my address. I just didn't think I would need to know a phone number.
It's crazy. Crazy work.
Now I need to. Jesus Christ, dude.
Jesus Christ. Can a dude live?
So much stuff in that phone too, dude. It sucks, dude.
Wow. I don't know, Bobby. Here, you want to go take this next question?
All right, guys, let's zoom out a bit. What World War lessons did this trip give you that you didn't think you could have learned from just sitting in a journalism class or covering stories on campus?
You want to go first?
Yeah, Elijah,
You
take
can
the
go
lead on
first.
this
You
one.
can go first.
No, Elijah, take the lead on this one.
Take
what
the
a
lead.
gentleman.
Okay. Well, I didn't really think about this one.
I can go first.
You can go to.
Okay. So it was such a big event like French Open. Like I think most of us didn't realize like how it is so hard to go and do interviews. Because when we were in Reno, we could have just like do a street interview really easily, right? But like in a big environment and a popular environment like French Open, it's kind of hard. Like I feel like and like French people, you don't know if they like overreact to your question or not because they're not from your nation. I think that was the hardest part for me.
When you say trying to get the interviews were difficult, was it because you guys didn't have the correct press credentials, or was it because there was a language barrier? You just mind elaborating on that a little bit?
I think just like the courage to go up to people and ask them questions, because like they're trying to catch the matches in between, and you have to find the right people. I mean, I'm just talking about the fans, by the way,
Okay,
when I
okay.
say people.
Like trying to
there
talk
are
to
a lot
LeBron
of
in the finals.
yeah, no. So I don't know. I was so lucky because there was this like a tattoo place, and the girl was like, "Do you want to do an interview with me?" I was like, "Sure, if you do want to do an interview." It was easy for me, but like a lot of my friends had a hard time.
I have a question for context. Is the French Open like the Super Bowl for tennis fans?
Yeah,
Okay. For the Americans out there,
yeah.
the French
Yeah.
Open's a pretty big deal.
It is a pretty
It is a
deal.
unique elite sport. Tennis is a really, really elite and expensive sport. So the fan base is like really, really rich people most of the time. I mean, I'm talking about the real matches, not the qualifier rounds. Like Alcaraz, Sabalenka, like Rafael Nadal. Those are like big names,
Yes.
So
That I've heard of, for
yeah.
sure.
No, Bobby, did you not see his like whole like retirement thing that he got?
Yeah.
It's really cool.
saw
I
Josh
mean, I
Allen
know
got
the
married.
tense too, but Nadal.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know, guys.
I don't know. Elijah, what about you though? What did you learn from being on this trip that you wouldn't have just learned being in the classroom?
I guess it's more or less just being there and you just knowing is kind of just like the cultural context of you actually going about. And like because I'm mostly taking photos, and you can kind of tell that there's this difference between of me going around the streets here and just taking photos of strangers and me doing that there.
Which do you think you were more comfortable in?
It's like, I wouldn't say I'm more or less comfortable, but I would just think it's really interesting how lax more like it kind of feels like people are more lax there. But you can kind of tell that it doesn't usually happen, that someone just shows up and just takes pictures of random people compared to here. It's more of a like I feel like people. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Because it's like I feel like here it's less surprising when you just see a random stranger just show up and put a camera in front of your face compared to over there in Europe. I feel you can kind of feel that cultural difference.
No,
So
definitely.
I guess
Definitely.
that's something you kind of feel, and I guess it kind of again with Dila and her like with interviewing, it's that kind of you can feel that difference.
Yeah,
I think,
I wanted to circle.
yeah,
My
yeah,
fault, James.
Bobby. No,
I
Bobby.
wanted to circle
I think
back
you
to
know what,
that.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. My question might be a little different than yours. So you said it was hard to interview people, and then Elijah, you say that there's a different feel to French people compared to American people. Um, at least for me, what I've heard about the French people is that they tend to be a lot meaner than the average American. James, was that what you were thinking?
Yeah, I was gonna ask,
Yeah.
do you guys feel like you were treated differently from other people just because you guys were students from the US? Like, would you guys have been treated differently if you guys were like students from like another European country, like students from Canada or something? Like, was it the fact that you guys were from the US that might have put like a target on your guys' back being out there?
I just want to tell something. So we landed in Paris, right? And there was this woman, and she was like, American passports from this part. And I was like, I have a Turkish passport. And like she had directed to me European passports. So they waited in line for half an hour. And I didn't. I just like boom. And like I was waiting for my luggage and I waited for them. Like the difference started from the airport.
Racist,
Immediately.
straight from the airport.
Not racism, but
Countryism.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and like I know that if they were from UK, it would have been different, you know.
Were
Like
there
the
any
students.
other, yeah, were there any other instances after that where you felt maybe there were some cultural tensions between you guys being from an American school?
Not like being American school, but like just being American.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you want me to tell the mayonnaise story? Or you want to
Yeah,
tell
sure.
it?
Well,
You guys
I
are
want
good,
to
go
add
ahead.
something real quick
Yeah.
before you
What's
can
the
tell the mayonnaise story.
story?
But it's like I mean, with the interactions I've had with strangers, some of them have been, I mean, when I'm actually interacting with them, it's mostly been positive. Like when I went to the beer festival and I was taking photos of these people, they were just vibing. I was literally paid $1.50 to take photos of these three dudes. And one of them was like, "Oh, I'll use it for my Tinder photo." I'm like, "Okay."
You
And
think you
we'll
should
And
charge that guy
we'll
more?
show a photo of that right now on the screen for you guys.
luckily I
Oh
have that
man,
photo.
that's a great
I
picture.
luckily have that photo. And like when I'm just taking a picture of these strangers, I usually just signal if it's like okay, and they let me take photos of them. So I mean, I don't think I've had any negative interactions unless I just don't notice and they're just eyeballing me, which probably did happen.
Yeah.
So,
I
but
think like on our own, we didn't have bad experiences, but as a
Mm-hmm.
group, we look like tourists. So they're just like
yeah,
overreacting.
I'm imagine me with like a big backpack and then having like a camera with like 150 millimeter lens that's like this wide. So
That looks pretty
I
important.
look like I was poked with a cigarette actually. Like that has nothing to do with anything, but that was like just a weird little interaction.
It's like,
Yeah, he poked me with a cigarette. I was like, guys, did you just poke me with a cigarette? I was like what, dude, why did you do that?
yeah.
And I got laughed at by a French guy, and I got laughed at by a French woman. I didn't even do anything.
For
All I did
what?
was breathe.
They
You
just
were
laughed
pretty
at you.
laughable
like
face.
you were literally like falling asleep.
Okay,
when
okay.
you-
That was the French guy. He was laughing at the girls laughing at me because I
No,
accidentally
no.
banged my head on the
Because
thing.
you couldn't stand still. We were laughing at you, and he saw you, and he was cracking up because of you, not because of us.
And you guys told me I like banged my head on the pole. I was like, dude, I don't remember that.
You didn't even know you did that?
You
No.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And there was another instance when I forgot where we were going, but like this like woman was like, she was like laughing, like, yeah, it's so funny. I was like, what is funny? And then she turned around, she was in front of me, she turned around, she started
was like,
laughing again. I was
"You."
like, yeah, what's so funny? I don't know what's the joke. I'm gonna
No.
cry. What's the joke? What's so funny?
Speaking of funny, Dila, what's the mayonnaise story?
So we were eating at this restaurant, right? And French fries. Okay, I love mayonnaise. Okay, French
Okay,
fries.
first of all,
mayonnaise.
weird.
I know.
Even weirder.
You don't like
I
mayo?
love it. It's like a universal thing. You eat ketchup, mayonnaise, and French fries. Literally, like
This is not
Anyway.
universal.
What?
it's universal.
I'll
Never
agree
heard
that
of that.
mayonnaise is better than ketchup.
Yeah,
All
mayonnaise is
right,
better.
you were too,
Absolutely.
Elijah. Get out of here.
Dude, you baldy all are wild.
Anyway, so I asked for mayonnaise, but in that day, in the morning, my friend was like, "Oh, don't ever ask ketchup from French." I was like, "Why?" And they just they just don't like that. Like, don't ask for any sauce. I was like, "Okay." And then we were eating French fries. I was like, "Can I have a mayo?" And then
mayo.
this woman,
Hey, mayo.
yeah, man. And this woman with a heavy American accent goes, "Stupid Americans, am I right?"
Huh?
And I'm like, "You're American. What are you doing?" Like, you,
Oh my
you
God.
literally
She's
have
like, they don't say
on-
bonjour. They don't say. I was like, bro.
She literally had like LA blonde girl accent. Literally, like I know that accent. Wherever I go, she was like, "Oh, they don't even say bonjour or merci," and like, and she's talking to a French guy in English, an American accent. So what are you
Man.
doing? Literally,
Did you
What
clock
the
her?
hell?
Deal. Did you clock
I
this
didn't
girl?
do
Did you
anything.
punch her right
I'm
in the
not
face?
even American. This is not their fault.
Dude, I
Like,
turned her.
what the
That was
hell?
that lady was behind us, and I like turned her. I was like, dude, what
Wow.
is that? What's going on, dude?
Well, I
And
don't
when she
know.
was leaving, Jen was sitting across, and then Jen was like, "Bye," and I was like, "Oh damn, this is not
Nice.
going
So you
She
guys
came
were
back.
getting
She was like,
in
"Oh my
trouble.
god, are you guys American?" And then Jen was like, and then Emma was like this. I'm like, bro.
For
Because she's like,
context,
"Oh my god,
those
your
are some
English
other
is so
people on the
good."
trip.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
I have
like,
a question.
French people weren't racist, but American people were.
You said it wasn't
Obviously, I
racist.
don't know. That was funny.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I have a
Bobby, go ahead.
question. 2 questions actually, but the first
Yeah.
one, what was it like eating French fries in France?
Dude, what?
Oh,
What was that like?
Hello?
They were good. Oh, about the
good.
food, you can tell that it's fresher, and it's just very nice compared to here in America. Is that you can tell that the food's fresher and it tastes better. Unlike someone that
Wow.
says someone on the trip said that they missed the preservatives, and
What's a
that really
preservative?
pissed me off because she couldn't even cut her own pizza.
Wait, Elijah, what is a preservative?
It's
That
like
sounds so pretentious. That sounds so pretentious. What
it's
is that?
basically any form of like here in America, any form of like additives, like fake sugars or stuff like that. That's added into our food. Unlike, let's say in Europe, like they use fresh products.
It's organic, you know?
Yeah,
They would have seen
That's
like
better.
strawberries and they're like, "Oh my god, fresh strawberries." I'm like, "Okay, that's normal, but sure." Yeah.
we have that in
That's
America.
normal.
What? We have that stuff here.
yeah. But someone on the
Yeah,
trip
but
was
it
like, "Oh
has,
my
like,
god!"
preservatives in it. That's the thing.
All right,
Like,
guys. Personal question.
she couldn't
Yeah.
cut her own pizza, Dila. That pissed me off.
I know. that
Jesus,
pisses me off.
Elijah.
How do you can't, wait,
She was
wait,
murdering that pizza, Dila. Like,
They
what was
couldn't
she
cut-
The
doing?
day that you
Wait,
didn't
wait.
come, I cut her pizza. I was like, "Just
They
give
don't
it to
cut
me."
pizzas. They don't cut the
No,
pizzas
no,
in
no.
France.
No, they don't
And no,
pre-cut.
it's
You cut your
nice
own
because
pizza.
you're
surprising.
working for your food, and it feels good.
That's stupid,
Ooh.
dude. You're the guy who wants to eat dinner with Jay-Z instead of have $1 million. Okay.
You've never heard that, dude. Would you rather eat dinner with Jay-Z or get $1 million? You would pick dinner with Jay-Z.
Yeah, because you got to work. for it.
Elijah's probably like, who's Jay-Z?
Oh, God.
He's
Okay,
actually
guys.
thinking, who's Jay-Z? Sorry, Bob. You go ahead.
No, you're good. I agree. He is confused. He doesn't know who Jay-Z is. Okay, personal question. One of my favorite movies is Pulp Fiction, and then in one of the beginning scenes of that movie, the two main characters, Vincent and Jules, talking about going to McDonald's in Paris.
He did
Did
that.
anybody
He
go
saw McDonald's.
I
and
am
he was like,
mad.
"Oh,
I was like, guys, we
should
should
we
try
go?"
McDonald's.
And I'm like,
in
"If we go to
Paris."
McDonald's in Paris, like I will literally kill you. So just walk, okay?
Why not? Why would you do that? Literally,
But
we
the
could have
menu's
tried it. It was
different. The
right
menu's
there.
different. The
At
menu's different.
McDonald's back at home.
But this
No,
is
no, no. But
McDonald's
deal. The
Paris.
menu is different, and the ingredients they use, I'm pretty sure, are different all across the country.
You
So
know,
it
it's
is
like,
low key valid. I understand that.
There was a Five Guys by our hotel, and I was like, I'll try
Yes.
Five Guys and see if it's different. I literally ate the Five Guys. I was like, it's just a burger.
You guys were finally going to Five Guys, but it's such a terrible thing to go to McDonald's where the menu is actually different.
It was
No,
right
Am-
there.
am I-
I
am I
wanted
getting
went
this
to
right?
McDonald's.
Five Guys because I was having a bad day and I needed a beer. That's why. Sorry. Am I allowed
And
to
it's
say
good,
that?
and it's good
I think I
because
do. Yeah, okay.
like
What?
it's like I wanted a beer, and I was like, what's open? Nothing's freaking open, but they close at 1 a.m. So I was like,
That's
it's
so
there.
Five Guys.
it's there when you
You
need
know,
it.
Is that just normal
Speaking-
for restaurants?
Yeah.
No, James, you
So-
go. I've been talking.
Oh no,
for a
sorry,
while.
sorry, you're fine.
No.
Speaking of beer and all that, what were some of the most memorable or fun experiences outside of the trip, outside of like the actual journalism reporting part of the trip that you guys got to do? I heard there was like a couple bars maybe or something that you guys maybe went to. How were those experiences compared to, some fun things to do back here in the States?
Well,
Getting
it's nice
drunk,
that the
right?
age, yeah.
All right, what
Alcoholics.
Like basic. He got drunk. Like, okay, so we went to this fancy restaurant, right? He ordered pasta, steak, espresso martini with a whiskey.
It was good. I tried. That was steak tartare.
Like steak
goated.
tartare, something
Steak
like
tartare,
that.
ravioli, espresso martini, and then whiskey to wash it all at the end.
Oh my gosh.
It's like a grown
so
man meal,
nice.
dude.
Dila,
It
what was like
It was amazing.
wait, hold on. Dila, what was the craziest experience that you had in Paris that like you're never gonna forget? What was the craziest thing that happened to you while you were on that trip?
Like normally, so drinking age is 18 in my country too, right? So I drink.
Oh.
But like I've never got this drunk before. And I got drunk in Paris. I mean, I wasn't drunk, I was tipsy. So we were so
Okay.
tipsy. We went to Eiffel and we started running because the Eiffel, like the lights, did you guys see it? Okay. So, and like,
Wait, could you explain
10
what it is?
okay, at 10 p.m., the lights will, like shimmering. The Eiffel will be
Oh.
shimmering,
The
So you have to
Eiffels?
catch the light. Yeah. You have to catch the
Oh.
lights and like take
What?
pictures. And we were so tipsy. So we just like ran tipsy. So I was like, oh my God, I think I'm gonna throw up. Like, this is not good. Like, I couldn't stand still. We drank too much that day. Like he wasn't there.
That was
But we had a lot of fun. Yeah.
Would you say that was like the best experience that you had while
Yeah.
you were there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was so fabulous.
Is that how
What
the
about you?
tower is
Yeah.
actually called? The Eiffel Tower?
Right.
The Eiffel?
Eiffel. I don't know.
How do you say?
Oh, that's
how
what. Oh, you talking about? Oh, dude, I thought
Yeah,
you were
she's talking
talking
about the
about
Eiffel
some
Tower.
bar. I thought you were talking about the bar.
No.
Oh, wait, that makes so much more sense. I'm
Cooler.
like, why was it sparkly?
Yeah. The tower.
Why would
dude.
I ran in the bar?
I don't know.
James is wild.
Literally.
What about you, Elijah? What was the craziest thing outside of losing your phone that you think you'll always remember about this Paris trip for you?
Getting scammed.
I don't want to talk about that. That
Can you
was really
explain about-
stupid. That was really dumb.
Wait, no, actually, could you explain that to me? I think I'd like to know. I think the
This
rest
is
of
on
the
the-
viewers would like to know.
This is on the third day. Okay. Do you guys know that the game where there's like a cup underneath a ball and there's 3 cups? You're like, okay, which cup is the ball under? You know that game?
You poor fool. You poor fool.
No, okay, this is how the guy asked me, and I was like, I'm like, "Dude, this is a scam. Hell no, get away from me. And then Jen, she gives $40, and then she lost. And for some reason, there's like a neuron,
Dollars, you idiot. Euros. You lost.
euros, whatever.
Euro.
And then
Bro.
and then there's like a neuron that like flickered in my brain that was like, hold on a minute. How did she get where the ball wrong? Dude, I can't believe her. I'm better than her. So then I was like, dude, I'm gonna pitch in. I have no clue what happened because there was like a horde of people in me, and I just kept grabbing money out of
Horde
my
of
bag.
people in me.
There's like a horde of people around me.
Bro,
And
Dila
I
is
was
losing
like
it having to listen to
freaking
this guy,
out, and
bro.
I was like, dude, what am I doing? Dude, I'm freaking out. I just kept taking money out of my bag without thinking, dude. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna kill myself. And then I was like, I go up to them, like, guys, I lost 100 euros. Like, I am so done.
That's like such an easy scam to not fall for. How is
No, because
I don't
it's
get
crazy.
that.
It's because I'm stupid. Because I was like, "This is a scam. I'm not gonna do it." But it took her getting the ball wrong, and I'm like, "Dude, I'm better than her. I
I
know
was
with the ball."
thinking he was playing because he wanted to get Jen's money back as a gentleman, you
Who do you
know?
think I am?
Oh, and now this guy's feel like a
Apparently
fool.
he's not. So karma.
That's pretty
Karma.
bad. What a guy, man. What a
Wow.
guy.
This was like on the third day. What is it, second or third day?
Second.
I don't
So it
know.
was and
Would
2 days
you,
later, a
Elijah,
phone got
Elijah,
stolen. Yeah.
would you say, and this is for you as well, Dila, would you say this trip was worth it, financially for both of you guys? Would you guys do this again if this was an option? Would you guys consider international travel for another journalism trip in the future? Because we have a couple other ones coming up later on next year. We have another Costa Rica trip for sure. It's going to be happening this winter, right? We're kind of looking at that one. And there's another Europe trip planned for sometime next spring or maybe next summer. Do you guys think it's worth it for other student journalists to take advantage of these trips?
Yes,
Um,
definitely.
it is financially, if you're an international student, it's twice as more
Oh,
for your
wow.
class fee. So I would just consider that. Yeah,
Elijah?
It's a good opportunity to
it is.
even step outside of the United States. Even if you're not going to do anything like any grand stories, I think just taking that opportunity is something, at least, even just for yourself. Because like I didn't do any like stories on the French Open, but I got to experience what it is like to be in another country. So, but I think people should take the opportunity if they can.
All right, guys. So if you guys could travel to one more country to go and report on, what country would you pick?
Spain.
Why?
Why?
I love Spain. I went to Spain when I was in fifth grade, I think. Like I don't know. It's Mediterranean and I love Mediterranean culture. They're a lot of fun. And like the structure, the buildings, the architectures, it's amazing. But I wouldn't travel. I would have stayed in US or I would have gone to Mexico because in 2026 there is this World Cup coming up. And
World
if you're a
Cup.
soccer fan like me, you
World
should definitely stay
Cup.
and watch and report the games,
That sounds amazing. But I really hope I'm around for that.
Yeah,
that would be
me
awesome.
too.
Thanks.
Wait,
Okay.
are you graduating early?
I am.
Me too.
I know.
Yay.
Me almost.
What about you though, Elijah?
Either the Philippines, because that's just where I'm from, and I'm interested in getting to know the politics there a little better, and also Japan, because I'm also interested in Japanese culture and also as well as their politics as well. So,
No,
and
I
I wanted to go to like study abroad. I want to teach English in Japan, but plans have changed. But I mean, though, I'm just basically just around Asia is where I'd go. Because I mean, look at
shouldn't
me.
say that my country.
The motherland.
Now I feel bad. Now you make me feel bad. Oh my God.
Why? Why did I make you feel bad?
Because I didn't say my own country.
You're wearing an
Oh.
Isle of Paris shirt.
Yeah, but the context varies.
All right. All right. Okay. I just wanted to give a big thank you to both Dila and Elijah for joining the Web Bros podcast today. Again, that was Elijah Reyes, a journalism student at the University of Nevada, Reno, and Dila Canyurt, a 19-year-old international journalism student also from the University of Nevada, Reno. Thank you, both you guys, for being here today. And thank you to you,
Usually here.
the viewers, for tuning in
Yeah.
for the season 2 debut of the Web Bros podcast video edition. I'm your host, James Perez, and I was joined by my amazing co-host today.
Bobby Diaz.
And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Make sure to follow the Web Bros Podcast on Instagram at the Web Bros Podcast. Also, please make sure to stay tuned on all other social media platforms for some special surprises and some special events that we're going to have leading up to this next upcoming school year. Thank you so much. You guys have a good one.